Vaccinated Californians have greater protection against serious illness, hospitalization, and death. We can help stop the spread and end this pandemic. Get vaccinated and wear a mask when it can protect you and others. Find a vaccine near you at myturn.ca.gov. Brought to you by the California Department of Public Health.
I don't know what you're thinking, and I kind of like that. Keeps it fun. KFI and KOST HD2, Los Angeles, Orange County. It's time for your morning wake-up call. And now, here's Jennifer Jones-Lee.
Hello. How is everybody? Oh, I have so much to share. We wiggled and waggled and raised $25,000 for the Pasadena Humane Society over the weekend. And how did that happen? It was thanks to you, the amazing wake-up call listeners, who not just donated, but also came out and walked. And, I had the best intentions to walk with you. I sort of blame you for the reason why I was not able to. And I will explain. Oh, yeah. You ended up making me not be able to walk with you. But it's all good. I'll explain. All of that is coming up. Man, it's going to be hot today. We've got a heat advisory in effect for parts of the Inland Empire. I'll tell you exactly where those are expected to be. Craziest story. DNA has led to an Army veteran being charged with allegedly choking and sexually assaulting 3 women on hiking trails in Aliso Viejo. Hey, at 5:20 that is, we'll talk with ABC's Jim Ryan. An autopsy is scheduled for today on human remains found in Wyoming that investigators believe are those of Gabby Petito, the 22-year-old who disappeared while traveling with her fiancé. All these questions now. Where is her fiancé? And have you heard that there are new details coming out about a 911 call? Oh, this could be some damning evidence if, in fact, this is right. So this is coming up in just a second. Also, Johnson & Johnson just released new data on its COVID-19 vaccine and says the booster shot 2 months after the original dose produces 4 times more antibodies. So let's get right into it. An Army vet's been charged in connection with 3 women in Aliso Viejo who were choked unconscious and dragged into the bushes to be raped.
OC Sheriff Don Barnes says Robert Yukas is a cargo pilot who was arrested in Alaska.
Based on his pattern and practice and his ability to travel not only throughout the United States and abroad, I have no doubt that there are other victims that exist.
He says an anonymous tip led to DNA in a San Diego assault, which matched DNA in a Riverside assault, where Yukas now lives, all which led to multiple felony charges for the Aliso Viejo attacks.
We can live a little safer today knowing that Mr. Yukas is no longer roaming the streets.
A tip line has been set up so people can report any other attacks. In Orange County, Corbin Carson, KFI News.
Well, Johnson & Johnson has released new data on its COVID-19 vaccine and says a booster shot 2 months after the original dose produces 4 times more antibodies. ABC's Eva Pilgrim says J&J is the latest company to make the case for boosters.
New data shows that 2 shots given 2 months apart resulted in 94% protection against symptomatic disease, almost identical to peak effectiveness for Moderna and Pfizer.
J&J says its earlier data found that waiting 6 months after the first dose produces even more antibodies. LA County health inspectors say from September 4th through the 10th, they checked note COVID-19 protocols at 25 hotels, 45 gyms, 214 food markets, 45 bars, and 909 restaurants. They could have just said they thoroughly checked. The inspectors say most of the businesses were in compliance, but they did issue 8 citations to fitness centers and restaurants for non-compliance with health officer orders. That's pretty good. If you look at all of the different businesses that they went through, only 8? That's pretty good. A modified health order also requires staff and customers to show proof of vaccinations for indoor areas of bars, lounges, nightclubs, breweries, wineries, and distilleries. 1,000 people have died from COVID-19 in Long Beach. The city's facilities and landmarks were lit up last night in honor of those who have died. The city is also creating a digital memorial wall to remember those who lost their lives. COVID-19 has been the city's leading cause of death for the past 18 months. The preliminary hearing for a father and son charged in the death and disappearance of Kristen Smart has entered its 7th week in San Luis Obispo.
Prosecutors brought in a witness who in 1996 heard Paul Flores call Smart some bad names, and he even implied where he had left Smart. Flores is charged with rape and murder of the college student. Flores' father Ruben's been charged with covering up the crime. Another witness testified yesterday he used to rent a house from Ruben Flores, and when he needed plumbing repairs, Flores refused to let plumbers under the house. Prosecutors have maintained Smart's remains are or have been on property owned by Flores. The defense says the prosecution's case is like putting lipstick on a pig. A judge is expected to rule Wednesday whether he needs to come forward to trial. Steve Gregory, Kfi News.
All right, when we come back, we'll talk with ABC's Aaron Katersky. What exactly is vaccine diplomacy, and how will it be handled at the gathering of the United Nations? Now, also, the U.S. eased international travel restrictions starting in early November, so you've got a lot of people now who will be coming into the U.S. who previously couldn't. How does this work with COVID testing and contact tracing? Lots to ask Aaron about in just a few minutes. Right now, let's say good morning to Nick Palliotini. Oh, I know the drill. It's slow on the 91 in Corona, is it not?
That is absolutely the case, Jen. Welcome back. Good to have you home again. And it is going to be, you're welcome. Going to be busy for the drive, westbound side of the 91 as you come up the 15. Going to be patchy for your drive as you continue and stretches toward the 241 toll road. And then further westbound on the 91, get out of York, Belinda, and Anaheim Hills as you continue toward the 55. Actually, looks like a pretty decent drive. If you are encountering otherwise, LA County, Orange County, the Inland Empire, pound 250 on your cell phone. Keyword is KFI traffic again. Keyword KFI traffic, pound 250 on your cell phone. Got problems in South LA heading toward downtown. Northbound side of the 110, right around Adams, just before the 10. It's a car fire that's off on the right shoulder. Cleanup work does continue. The flames are out, but you're seeing a busy drive as you come away from Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard. KFI in the sky helps you get to there faster. I'm Nick Palliotini.
5:06 on your wake-up call. KFI AM 640 live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. Aaron Katersky, good morning to you. I have a feeling this isn't what we normally see at the UN General Assembly meeting. Hello, hi, nice to meet you. Here's your hello, my name is tag. By the way, over here we have your free mobile COVID-19 testing, and there's a vaccination station to your left.
Well, it really is unusual, but this whole pandemic has been unusual, hasn't it, Jen? And the city says that since the dignitaries arriving in New York are subject to the city rules, well, then they ought to have offered something for the dignitaries to get vaccinated. Now, officially, the city really doesn't have jurisdiction at the United Nations, but we've already seen some delegates taking advantage of the city's clinic. I think I saw members of the Turkish delegation getting their vaccine shots. So it does have some effect, but they really want to keep this from being a super spreader event. Commonly, the dignitaries from other countries have taken that into town, and go out in New York, and they just want to make sure that everybody stays safe.
And then you have leaders like the president of Brazil, who has said, and he said it for a long time, that he does not want to get the vaccination. He got COVID-19 and says he has the antibodies. And I'm sure that there's some concern. I mean, our president is 78 years old, and even though he does have, obviously, he was vaccinated, you're putting him in the same room as a guy who has said no way to the vaccination.
Yeah, in fact, Mr. Biden speaks after Bolsonaro does this morning, so they'll have to scrub that down pretty well.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
But I think what the UN is saying is it's on the honor system. The city and the mayor here called out Bolsonaro by name, saying if you're not interested in the vaccine, you really shouldn't be coming, to the United Nations for this. But I don't think Bolsonaro is terribly interested in what the mayor of New York has to say. And in fact, the UN says they're not really going to check who's vaccinated and who's not. They want everyone to be vaccinated, but they don't seem to have a mechanism to actually make sure it's the case.
So kind of on the honor system, I guess?
Exactly, the honor system, and I don't know how honorable all of these guys necessarily are, but the hope is that they're vaccinated and they're masked up, and that there was some interest in getting the UN General Assembly back to an in-person event after it was largely virtual last year. The UN, I think, has had a hard time asserting itself in a virtual world, and truthfully, for many of the diplomats, doing the kinds of things that they're interested in doing, be it on climate change or other agenda items, it's tough when the world is suffering through the pandemic.
Okay, so we have sort of the COVID side, the honor system side. Then, God forbid, that we do see some sort of outbreak. Is there contact tracing? How does this all work?
Oh, I have no idea how that's going to work. I assume the UN kind of operates on its own, like that 16 acres is sort of an autonomous place. So I don't know if the city would come in and do any kind of a contact trace, or whether there would be something more that the UN would do on its own. It's tough to know. I mean, what they're hoping for is that it doesn't become a super spreader event. In fact, one of the priorities at the UN this week is to try and figure out how to get more vaccine to more parts of the world. The president today is going to highlight, America's role in this, although, there's certainly plenty of division in this country that's going to, I think, belie what the president says.
Oh, absolutely. And the reason that I asked about the contact tracing was because I thought, wait, if New York really doesn't have any jurisdiction over it, then how do you really split, how do you peel this onion back should there be something? So let's just hope, like you said, that this does not become a super spreader event and that we don't even have to worry about the question I just asked.
Well, that's right, and I think that's kind of what they're going with, because I'm not sure there really is a mechanism for, if a bunch of world leaders suddenly get sick, what they're actually going to do.
All right, Aaron, thank you so much. We'll keep an eye on it for sure.
Thank you.
See you later. ABC's Aaron Katoski. Yeah, oh, wow. Yeah, because this isn't just a local versus state versus federal. Oh, let's go international. And then the UN, kind of its own separate entity. Well, that's kind of a mess. All right, let's get back to some of the stories coming out of the KFI 24-hour newsroom. We got a heat advisory in effect for parts of the Inland Empire. The National Weather Service says temperatures could get as high as 105 degrees in places like Rancho Cucamonga, Corona, Fontana, and Moreno Valley. The heat advisory will stay in effect through 8 tomorrow night. The Riverside County Board of Supervisors is expected to approve a proposed emergency outdoor warning system for communities in the San Bernardino National Forest. It will alert people about wildfires and other disasters. Speakers will be put up at fire stations, schools, camps, and other places, so information about public hazards can be broadcast to people. The project's expected to take about 2 years to complete. A newly announced candidate for mayor of L.A. is making homelessness one of her top priorities.
President of the Central City Association of L.A., Jessica Wall, says homelessness is the most important issue L.A. is facing.
It's the issue tearing at the very fabric of the city we love.
Her plan includes a push for more recovery housing to help people in mental health crises stabilize.
We will modify our affordable housing programs to get this specialized housing built fast.
She also considered raising funds to take action against other L.A. County cities who she says aren't doing their fair share. What's rolling KFI News.
Canadians have voted Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's Liberal Party back into office in their parliamentary elections, but not with an overall majority.
You are sending us back to work with a clear mandate to get Canada through this pandemic and to the brighter days ahead.
The Liberal...
My friends, that's exactly what we are ready to do.
Needed to wait for the cheering. The Liberal Party has won most seats of any party. And the man who became famous for filming the beating of Rodney King by cops 30 years ago has died from COVID-19. George Holliday was a plumber when he caught the beating on video in Lakeview Parish. 61. All right, when we come back, we're going to talk with ABC's Jim Ryan, and we're going to get an update into the investigation of the disappearance of 22-year-old Gabby Petito. She disappeared while traveling with her fiancé. Question is, there are remains that were found. The autopsy should happen today on those. They believe that those are Gabby Petito. Where is that fiancé? Also, what is this new 911 call that just surfaced last night that could be some of the last that Gabby Petito and her fiancé were seen, and what this person saw that made them call 911. That's all coming up with Jim in just a second. Right now, let's look at this crash in South LA on the 110.
It's on the northbound side of Adams just before the 10. Emergency crews on the scene, and the 2 right lanes are taken away. It's a crash and a car fire, and you're seeing a really rough ride. First thing this morning as you come away from Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard. maybe trying for Avalon Boulevard or Central, maybe Long Beach Boulevard, any of those heading northbound will help save you a little bit of time this morning. Vermont Avenue also, all of these parallel the freeway and will definitely give you a little bit of a breather as you're making your way into the, out of South LA, into the mid-city LA and downtown LA areas. Got an update on this or anything else slowing you down? Pound 250 on the cell phone. Keyword is KFI traffic. Westbound 91, getting busier for your drive now through Riverside from before La Sierra. Westbound 91, patchy delays for you as you make way toward the 241 toll road. KFI in the sky helps get you there faster. I'm Nick Paulino-Keeney.
I had an electrician over at the house the other day. He pops open the panel on the side of the house, and he goes, "Whoa, you have Solar Max technology?" I said, "Yep, had it for a few years." And he says, "How is it?" I said, "It's unbelievable."
And he immediately cranked that temp down to 60 degrees.
He did, because with my Solar Max panels, my electricity is practically free.
Solar Max is local. They're right here in Southern California. They've got the best products and the best service going.
Yeah, it means exceptional quality control. Solar Max has no middleman, and I saved with even more because there was no upfront cost.
And they have the newest, most innovative Tesla products like the Tesla 420 panels and power walls.
So you're going to pay zero down for that Tesla package and $79.96 per month with a 1.99% APR.
Call pound 250 from your cell phone. Say that keyword Solar Max. That's pound 250. Keyword Solar Max. Do it by September 30th for this great offer.
Monthly payment available on approved credit. The SLB number 972048.
This traffic report is sponsored by the California Office of Traffic Safety. Hey drivers, between the video calls and virtual gatherings, we've seen our share of screen time this past year. So let's give the screens a rest. Put down the phone, focus on the road and driving. Go safely, California, from the California Office of Traffic Safety.
This is Clay Travis. Here's what's trending from the iHeart Sports Network.
Presented by Insure Max Protein. The Lakers landed a jersey sponsor deal worth over $100 million with a Korean food company called Bibigo. The average jersey cap contract is around $7 million. Following an impressive debut, USC quarterback Jackson Dart is staying today with a knee injury, and Packers running back Aaron Jones lost a necklace containing his father's ashes during their win over the Lions. His father died from COVID-19 in April. I'm Steve Jordan.
Try great tasting Insure Max Protein with 30 grams of protein, 1 gram of sugar, and nutrients to support immune health. Those who tried Insure Max Protein reported feeling more energy in just 2 weeks. For more information, including consumer survey details, please visit Insure.com.
Hey, it's Conway here. Know why I got a whole house water filtration system from Purigan Water? Because I don't want to wonder if my family's tap water is safe. No more wasting money on bottled water, no plastic bottles to recycle, and no more visits to the chiropractor's office because you're lifting 5-gallon bottles of water or 40 pounds of salt. No calcium buildup on faucets or shower heads, and that alone is worth it. Purigan extends the life of your water heater. Big dog with this clean water. Purigan Water offers free lifetime service. No one else can make that claim. The system takes up a little tiny amount of space. So listen to Purigan, California's preferred whole house water filtration system. And for a limited time, when you buy a whole house system, you get the 6-stage alkaline drink system for free. 844-80-WATER. 844-80-WATER. That's C-U-R, again, water.com. Spelled wrong, but the water's right. 844-80-WATER.
Deb's constipation with bone pain, discomfort, and bloating kept giving her grief. She talked to her doctor to get some relief. Turns out Deb had irritable bowel syndrome with constipation or IBS-C, which was a start. Saying yes to Linzess helped her do her part.
Linzess, or linaclotide, is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. Linzess works differently than laxatives. It lets you have more frequent and complete bowel movement and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 6, and it should not be given to children 6 to less than 18. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stool. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. There could be more to your story with IBS-C. Talk to a doctor today. Say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS. Sponsored by Abbey and Ironwood Pharmaceuticals.
Medicare open enrollment is right around the corner. October 15th is when it starts. Now, navigating Medicare can simply be overwhelming, which is why I'm going to suggest you call AGA Medicare Options. Their team of experienced Medicare agents will advise you step by step on a plan that
fits your unique situation and budget. By the way, these plans change year to year. And AGA, they're the experts at this. They'll compare all of the major plans at once to you at no cost. They'll help you find plans that are accepted by your physicians, cover your medications at the lowest possible out-of-pocket cost, and since changes do occur every year, even if you're already on Medicare, set up that benefit with you to ensure you're still on the best plan, and it's free. Call, set up a free consultation, dial pound 250 on your cell and say My Medicare, pound 250 on the cell, say My Medicare, or visit AGAMedicareOptions.com, AGAMedicareOptions.com.
I'm Susan Owen, managing partner at OPO Law. Over 43 years of experience. Insurance, dial pound 250, use keyword personal injury to connect to OPO Law.
When you dial pound 250, you'll have the option of receiving an auto-dialed text message from iHeartMedia.
It took 45 minutes to get out of the parking lot, and I see a guy, he starts kicking the door of a car. He's kind of stumbling, so I'm guessing he's really out of it. Then I hear a voice, "Hey man, what are you doing to my car?" I guess the drunk guy had the wrong car. I couldn't figure out why it wouldn't open. What a species. John and Ken, weekdays at 2. But that was going to work anyway. Keep kicking your car door till it opens. On KFI.
KFI AM 640 live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. Welcome to Tuesday morning. I'm Jennifer Jones-Lee, and some of the stories we're watching in the KFI 24-hour newsroom. DNA has led to an Army veteran being charged with allegedly choking and sexually assaulting 3 women on hiking trails in Aliso Viejo. OC Sheriff Don Barnes says Robert Yukas is a cargo pilot living in Riverside County who was arrested in Alaska. Barnes says DNA from an attack in San Diego County matched an assault in Riverside County. He said that led to charges for the attacks in Aliso Viejo, which started last year. Yukas is expected to be extradited to Orange County within 30 days. And Johnson & Johnson has released new data on its COVID-19 vaccine and says the booster shot 2 months after the original dose produces 4 times more antibodies. J&J says its earlier data found that waiting 6 months after the first dose produces even more antibodies. Let's say good morning now to ABC's Jim Ryan. So, Jim, let's start off with what's expected to happen today in the investigation into the disappearance of Gabby Petito. We've got an autopsy scheduled on human remains found in Wyoming.
Yes, and that may provide solid identification. The body, I don't think anybody has any doubt, Jen, that it is the body of Gabby Petito that was discovered there in Wyoming on Sunday. Now, we're hearing that the Northport Police Department out in Florida will be back out today. They plan on going back into that swampy 25,000-acre preserve, searching for Brian Laundrie, the fiancé of Gabby Petito. You know, yesterday they called off the search, having found nothing there at all. The dogs didn't pick up a scent. The police there, 50 officers, didn't find any evidence that Laundrie had been there. But now they're going to work from an opposite direction to go into that preserve and see if maybe they can find him there. About a week ago, he put on a backpack and went walking away. He told his parents he was going hiking, and he hasn't been seen since.
Okay, a 911 call surfaced. Can you explain this? Just kind of started to trickle out yesterday afternoon, and do they think that this 911 call was Gabby Petito and her fiancé?
Yes, I don't think they have any doubt about that either. The police in Moab, Utah got this call, a 911 call from somebody saying that this man who placed the call saw a couple fighting. They saw a man strike a woman, and they got out of the van that they were in, walked down the side of the road, and he says that they then got back into the vehicle and drove off. The Moab police did catch up with that van and talked with both Petito and Laundrie, saying that Petito appeared to be having some kind of emotional breakdown. In fact, that's kind of been the running theme through this whole thing, that she was having some emotional issues at the time. But the police said that they didn't see any evidence of a domestic disturbance. They simply called it a mental health crisis. That's why they didn't demand that the two separate there on that program.
Okay, and mental health crisis, are they attributing it to her specifically? Was she going through something with him? I guess I'm wondering what the police team talked to them, what more that they could elaborate on.
Yeah, it was something that she was going through at the time, and some kind of crisis. We're not really sure what, whether she was on medication or or what the situation was there. We also know from the search warrant that was served yesterday on the parents' home there in Northport, Florida. Police were looking for evidence of, computer files, looking for documents, looking for anything they could to try to figure out where Gabby Petito went and who was responsible for this. They did find a computer hard drive in the van that the couple had been driving cross country in. But we also heard in this affidavit that was taken out as part of the search warrant that the last communication that Gabby Petito had with her family was a text message she sent to her mother in which she was talking about someone named Stan, saying that Stan was looking for help or Stan needed something. Stan is Gabby Petito's grandfather. But her mother says she never would have called him Stan. She had a nickname for him, like everyone has a nickname for their grandparents. And so I think the suspicion is that someone else was sending this text message, that it wasn't Gabby Petito.
Okay, so our investigators now who are searching for the fiancé, do they still feel, are they, let's see, are they concerned, I guess, that they're going to go into the forest and find him dead? Do they fear that he had something to do with Gabby Petito's disappearance and took his own life or something like that? Or do they fear that there is somebody out there who went after both of them?
No, I mean, anything is on the table at this point. But I think that's one concern, certainly in one scenario, that he may have taken his own life out there in that swampy area. It's also infested with alligators and snakes and other animals. And some of the water is waist deep, according to the police who are going back out there to search today. So that's one scenario that may have played out. We don't know. There was even talk that he may have left the country. So, just there was no answers about that at all, but we should have the firm identification today on those remains that were found, Jen.
All right. Well, we'll go from there then, Jim. Right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. See you later. ABC's Jim Ryan. Man, this is one of those that just twists and turns, and let's throw in snakes and alligators, and could the guy have left the country? Or is there somebody who's been following that? Oh, and the text message that went to the mom that said Stan. Who calls their grandpa by his first name? Of course that's going to tip the family off. And, I mean, you have to think to yourself, who would be, whoever the bad guy is in this case, if in fact Gabby Petito was killed, who would be dumb enough to call a grandpa by his first name and think that the family wouldn't raise an eyebrow about that? Just too many weird things not adding up. All right. I need to explain something that went down this weekend. So first of all, thank you to Layla and Crozier for coming in for me. We had a little family situation. I had to run up to the Bay Area and be with my family. All is well now. Just a little family scare, but we're all good to go. Needless to say, I had to hoof it back here early Saturday morning because I thought, oh my gosh, I have this big walk on Sunday, the Wiggle Waggle Walk that we've been gearing up for now for 2 months, and we have raised $25,000 thanks to all the KFI Wake Up Call listeners. And you know what's funny is we were on other shows, and don't get me wrong, other people contributed from other shows, and I'm so grateful to all the hosts who allowed me to come on and to pitch the Wiggle Waggle Walk, but it was you, KFI Wake Up Call Wigglers, and the listeners that were the ones that put us over the top. So I wish that I could hug every single one of you, or fist bump you, whatever you're comfortable with, just to say thank you. I was blown away. I was tearing more than once at knowing that we were able to raise $25,000. It's just crazy. And Amy King, thank you for coming in. Amy was gracious enough months ago to come in and fill in for me yesterday morning. Because I told her, I said, with all the craziness that goes into the Wiggle Waggle Walk, will you fill in for me? And she said, of course. That's her contribution to the walk. But now, when it comes to the walk, here's what I have to explain. I kept saying I was going to walk with everybody, right? And that was my plan. And if you haven't seen the pictures of how ridiculous my husband and I and 2 of our 4 dogs looked, I kind of think you're missing out. JJLKFI on Instagram. Because we went as the Cat in the Hat, Thing Mom, and of course Thing 1 and Thing 2. Complete with the blue hair and the Cat in the Hat, and the dogs were dressed up in the whole 9 yards, right? But because you guys were so amazing and helped us raise $25,000, we were the winning team. I also ended up being the person with the most amount of donations, so they put me in a Bronco and had me be the pace car person along with the president of the Pasadena Humane Society, which was amazing and a great honor, except then I didn't get to walk with everybody. So see, that's why I blame you all. See, I was a product of your success. Anyway, I apologize for not getting to actually walk with you, although I know a ton of you walked with my husband and the dogs, and I appreciate that. Next year, let's still hope that we raise all the money, but I will make sure that I don't end up in the pace car. Although, again, great honor, and I was thrilled to be a part of it. But it's just so funny how stuff like that happens, that you don't even anticipate coming, and then it does. So that was awesome. And while you're there at JJLKFI, I put a picture up of something that I did, let's see, gosh, I don't even know how many years ago. 15 years ago? Anyway, if you guys have ever thought that I'm crazy, and I've told you the story about how I rode a bull at the Grand National Rodeo and broke my arm. And I had to ride a bull prior to that to make it into the finals at the Grand National Rodeo. It was a media competition. It's not like I had a ton of competition. Yet I think I rode the first bull for just under 3 seconds. So anyway, it's the best picture. And I put it up, JJLKFI. If you haven't seen it, there finally is the proof that I rode a bull. I actually rode 2 bulls, but this was the successful ride that got me into the Grand National Rodeo. My uncle found it at my grandma's house over the weekend, and he said, I don't know that I ever saw this. I know the story, but I don't know if I ever saw it. And he sent it to me, and I thought, okay, all this time I've talked about the bull ride, but I've never actually shown you guys the proof. It is there. JJLKFI on Instagram. There's just some nutty stuff that got put up over the last few days that I hope will confirm your suspicions that I'm a lunatic. It's all there. Now in black and white and color. Whole 9 yards. All right, when we come back, I've got this incredibly inspirational story for you. We've got 2 rival gang members from Long Beach. One from the east side, one from the north side. One was a Crip. Now, not only have these 2 men changed their lives, but they have joined forces through their love of writing. And we're going to talk with one of those men, Stanley James II, who was known on the streets as Babyface, not just about his story, about how he ended up getting out of a gang and becoming an author, but also about how unlikely this friendship was, and now partnership with a former gang rival. That's coming up in just a second. But right now, let's say hello again to Nick Pagliocchini. Oh, man, those problems continue in South L.A.
Boy, that's the truth, Jen. And it's on the northbound side at Adams, rather just past it, coming up on the 10. Emergency crews are on the scene. It's a car fire and a crash that's being dealt with. 2 right lanes are shut down. That's packing in the drive tight for you to come away from at least Slauson this go-round. So getting into mid-city plan for Arlington, Western, Normandy, Vermont, all 4 of those are looking good. If you're heading toward downtown, Avalon Boulevard becomes San Pedro Street in downtown, or Central. They're also smooth sailing for your drive. Got an update on this or anything else slowing you down? Pound 250 on the cell phone. Keyword is KFI traffic. Again, pound 250 on the cell phone. Keyword KFI traffic. Checking in on your drive in the Orange County area. Costa Mesa 405 South at Harbor Boulevard. You got a crash that has the Harbor Boulevard on-ramp to the 405 South shut down. Definitely seeing a few delays for your drive. KFI in the Sky helps get to there faster. I'm Nick Pagliocchini.
If you own a business and manage to keep 5 or more people on payroll, a new government program will pay you up to $33,000 per employee. $33,000. This isn't a loan, it's a grant, it's free money. The challenge? Getting your hands on it. Hi, I'm Howard Mackler. That's exactly why I founded InnovationRefunds.com to cut through the red tape and get you the money. At InnovationRefunds.com, our tax attorneys and CPAs are experts at helping businesses like yours to get their share of these government funds. InnovationRefunds.com does all the legwork and doesn't charge you a penny until you receive the money. Our team has helped over 6,000 businesses to get some $450 million, and InnovationRefunds.com can get your business up to $33,000 per employee. Just go to InnovationRefunds.com, click on Qualify Me, answer a few questions. No risk, high reward. innovationrefunds.com.
SoCal weather from KFI. We have a hot one on the way. In fact, we've got a heat advisory in effect from many parts of the Inland Empire starting at 10 this morning through 8 tonight. Highs at the coast will be in the mid to upper 70s. We'll be in the mid-80s to low 90s for Metro LA and OC. We'll be in the mid-90s to low 100s for the valleys and the IE. We lead local. Live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom, I'm Jennifer Jones-Lee.
Discover matches all the cash back you earn on your credit card at the end of your first year. It's amazing because Discover is accepted at 99% of places in the U.S. that take credit cards. Learn more at discover.com/yes. 2021 Nielsen Report limitations apply.
Hey, it's Dean Sharp. You know, with energy costs rising and temps getting warmer and electric vehicles here to stay, I can't believe how many homes still don't have solar. Now, granted, there's a lot of misinformation out there, so my solar company, Sunlight, asks it doesn't cost you money. It saves you a lot of money. Second, it doesn't matter where your panels are made. What matters is who makes them. And finally, you hear about some system out there for $29.95, but that is not what is going to end up on your home. You know, it means something to me that all the partners at Sunlight like top-tier positions at other solar companies. Why to do solar better? It's why Sunlight is an LG and Tesla Platinum contractor. The best systems, the best battery solutions, the best service, the best warranty, and a solar company who is straight with you from day one. Hey, it's time for solar. Get started today at sunlux.com. That's sunlux.com, sunlux.com. CSLB 1008374.
So when you think of your home, do you think of feeling safe? Do you think of feeling protected, kind of a sanctuary, right? Well, if you do, I hope you experience that same feeling when you go to the faucet and you flip it on and drink a glass of water. Because that's what you would feel if you had a Life Source whole house water system. You would know that you had clean, delicious water coming out of every faucet in your house. And a Life Source system is maintenance-free. That's my favorite part. You get to say goodbye to all the maintenance. No salt bags, no filter changes. And if hard water is a headache in your house and you're tired of dealing with it, their systems can reduce your hard water problems. And a Life Source water system is going to reduce the odor and taste of chlorine in your water, and you're not going to have to use sulfur chemicals to get it out. So on top of everything, you're not going to have the drying effect of chlorine, which I can tell you from personal experience you're going to notice with softer skin, and your hair is going to be less dry. Every time you bathe and shower, I notice the difference. With Life Source, you're buying direct from the factory. Their team provides a customized water solution for your home, including installation and customer service support. So call Life Source today and get full service and full confidence in your water. Call them at 1-800-334-5009. That's 1-800-334-5009. Or just visit lifesourcewater.com. Life Source Water. Taste and feel the difference.
At City, call Jacob, the morning, call Jacob.